So here we are. I have cracked 6 eggs. And like I said, we have 6 eggs. 3 of them are regular eggs and 3 are farm fresh grain-fed eggs. So in those eggs, I'm going to throw in approximately, I don't try and make them too sweet. What I want to do, I want to put about a cup of sugar in that. Usually, you can add a cup and a half, but I'm going to go with a cup because I don't want to make them extra sweet. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add about, this is a real good quality vanilla. I'm going to add about I'm going to go with about a tablespoon of vanilla. Now, in place of vanilla, sometimes you can also decide to use, say, like a brandy or some other kind of flavoring that you like. You might want to squeeze in a lemon. You might want to squeeze in an orange juice. That's up to you. I'm going to make them very simple today because a lot of people really like it when they're simple. So we're going to go ahead and scramble these. As you can see, they're very, the grain-fed eggs are very, very bright in color. And they usually are what I use, but unfortunately I only had 3 of those. And they are farm fresh. So what I do, I just beat that for a while and let it rest. And in the meantime, I'm going to throw in about, this is vegetable oil, which I have in a container, which is easy for me when I'm baking. I'm going to throw in about half a cup. And you know what? I think now at this point, I think I'm going to add another 1/3 of a cup of oil because that's what makes them really crispy. And then just for some flavor, I'm going to melt about a tablespoon of butter. And I will use one of my glass bowls. And you know what? You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a perfect measure. Just I use maybe approximately. Do you have to use the butter? Absolutely not. Can you make them all with butter? For sure. I prefer to mix the oil because they last longer with the vegetable oil, and I add a bit of the butter to give it extra flavor. So I'm going to melt this in the microwave for about 30 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, so here we are back with the butter. It's like about a tablespoon. So I'm going to throw in some of the egg in there so that the butter is a little on the warm side. We don't want to scramble all the eggs. I'm sure most of us know that. But anyway, here we go. And basically, our recipe is ready. All I have to do in here is maybe add about a cup and a half of flour, or perhaps it's going to take a little less than that. I'm just going to see more or less what it takes. So here we go, and I'll get the flour.
Okay.
Okay, so here's our flour. And you just kind of like, almost like doing a pancake. And, you know, it's going to be the consistency of like a pancake batter. I think it's probably going to take about, I'm going to say, a cup and a half of flour because I've got 6 eggs. For 4 eggs, depending on the size of the eggs, it takes approximately, I would say, about a cup. But when you've got a bit of larger eggs, that's why you have to, once it's mixed in, just kind of play with the batter to see what you get. And you should be able to get out of this approximately 50 pizzelle or so, if not more. And I'm just playing with this because it's got to absorb. You can't just all of a sudden whip it really like crazy. So you're just trying to get a smooth batter going. And I think, like I said, I'm going to add maybe a little bit more flour to that. But I'm just going to see how it goes. There we go. Yeah, I think we're gonna add just about another half a cup of flour there. Now, I usually use the unbleached flour when I do this. Or actually, I try and use unbleached in most of my baking. It's a much finer and I like it better. And it isn't all purpose. You can use a cake flour if you like a pastry flour. That's totally up to the person that is cooking and what you're used to cooking with. But when I'm in my kitchen, I try and use, or in my cooking rather, I try and use whatever I have found to work best for me. So when you follow the recipe, just see if what you have works for you. Go ahead and use it. If not, use something else that I might have suggested or what have you. So this consistency is pretty good, but I think I'm just going to add like about 1/3 of a cup more of flour.
Okay.
So here we go. Here's the other third of flour, and I think that's going to take care of that. And we're just going to blend it in and see where we're at with that. And yeah, this is what I want. This is the consistency I want now. It's just perfect. Well, perfect. In my eyes, it's perfect. But nothing is perfect in life. But you try and make it the best you can. And it's a little hard, not harder, but it's a little tricky when you're trying to use a container with a spout if you don't have a larger one. But I wouldn't want a larger one simply because it would just, you know, the batter would stick everywhere. I found this to be one of my best containers to work with. If you find a container with a spout on it that's taller, you can pour it into that. But, you know, for me, this has worked just fine. And as I'm doing this, I look over and my pizzelle maker is almost ready to go. I don't see a green light on there yet. Oh, there it goes. I just saw the green light come on. Okay. Don't be afraid to play with your fingers. I love playing with my fingers when it comes to food. There we go. Now that was a very, very simple. And again, for years, I've always watched people making things like this and they make it seem so hard. But really, there's just a few simple steps. Okay, so now the part about putting them on the, I'm just going to move a few things out of my way to show. So here we go, we're back. And my pizzelle maker is ready to go. And this is the fun part. You have to be pretty quick and you have to be very careful because the pizzelle maker has, you know, a stainless steel top and it gets fairly hot. So, you know, need to be quite careful in how you handle it. And once you get the knack of doing it, and somebody that's making them that has made them before knows what I'm talking about, if you're first try at it, it's pretty cool. Okay, I'll wash my hands off, and I've got a rack because once they come out, it's going to be quick. It takes about 30 seconds. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a few and then give you an idea, and then we'll kind of like end it. And I'll continue finishing them. There we go. Pizzelle maker is ready to go. And what you do, you drop, say, maybe a size of a teaspoon on there. Okay? And you continue the same thing. And you shut the lid and you kind of hold it a bit. And you kind of like, when the smoke of the steam, when the steam comes out, or ends, is basically when they're finished. It takes approximately 30 seconds. So we're almost there, and I think I'm almost there. It looks like the steam has ended, and I'm going to take a quick peek, and they are done. Now they go right onto a cooling rack, and that's how you make your pizzelle. So I'm going to show you just a couple of more to do. And then I'm going to show you how you can turn some of them, you know, into a little Easter basket or into a chocolate basket with Easter coming around the corner. It's kind of really neat. You can actually make little baskets and put jelly beans in there and have them like as a table display. Or here, I'm going to take 2 little bowls, turn them upside down, and I will show you how I do that. But I will show you. I'll make 2 more first. And I think the steam is about done. And there we go. There's a couple more. This is basically what they look like. You get a little pattern on them. Some of them come with little star patterns and some of them come with circles. So basically that's what you're looking at. So we'll make a few more and I'll show you how to do a little basket with them. With Easter, like I said, around the corner, it's really cool. So basically what I was trying to say, if you have a spout, it just makes it a little easier to handle how to drop them. Some people drop them by spoon, but it's just too much. Too much of an effort going back and forth and so forth. And here we go. And once the steam is gone, pretty well they're ready. And if you leave them, it takes seconds for them to actually burn. And what I'm going to show you, you can take them off a little lighter, which is still, they'll still be crispy. Now, when you use the oil to make them, they are very crispy, and you can hold, you know, keep them in metal tins. And what happens if you use the butter, I will tell you, they do soften up. And that's why I tend to just put the butter in for flavoring and use the oil for the recipe, the full recipe. Okay, so in a minute I will show you how to make those little fancy little cups for the little baskets. And it's no different than when you make a chocolate basket and melt the chocolate and so on and so forth. So here we go with the little baskets. So we're going to sit them on a little cup upside down, or you can get whatever you get. You might have another idea for it, but this is my way of doing it. And then I just kind of hold them down and you create little baskets with them. It takes about a minute or 30 seconds to make them kind of cool off and get your little basket. So there's your little baskets. And I'll just make a couple more to show you that you can also do them with putting them in a cup or on top of a cup, or depending how you want them. You might want them real fancy, deeper. That's up to the individual on how they want to display their little baskets. So there's the steam, as you can see. So once that steam stops, they're done. And then, like I said, it takes about 30 seconds. I have timed it, and it takes that much. Okay, here we go. And this is when you could make the larger basket. And this is a tinier one. There's a few ways you can do this. You know, you might want to do little ones, bigger ones. That's up to the individual. Okay, you can actually do your own little cones, and if you know what cannoli are, the ones that with the ricotta inside, or you could do them with cream, custard, you can roll them and make little rolls with them. But basically that's what you're looking at. There's your little basket again, and I made a bigger one that time, and this is a smaller one. So you can do different things with it. And if you want to use them for a custard filling, just for fun, and then tip the ends with chocolate, that would be really cool too. Here you go. There's the little baskets. And I'll make a couple more baskets. The kids really like these. You can, like I said, fill them with whatever, jelly beans or whatever you like. And you just sit them in a bowl or on top of a bowl. And you can see it goes very fast. Very fast. And I'll show you how to make a couple of rolls where you can add custard to it. I think I got carried away with one of them, and it doesn't matter. They're just going to be a little bit bigger. It's up to you how large you want them, depending on the dough you put in there. Okay. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to roll one of them. There you go. Okay, and the steam is almost gone. And here we go. I'm just excited about this. I want to show you how to do the roll, and then I think I'll continue finishing them on my own. It's no point showing you. You've gotten the idea. So I'm just going to give you an idea how to roll them. You can actually do a little roll with them and stuff them with whatever you like. You could either fill them with a filling of your choice, or even have them with ice cream. You can actually make your own ice cream cones if you like with the waffle. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. I believe it's a very simple recipe. If you have any questions, you can ask me the questions in your comment area. Please do enjoy and try the recipe. Until next time, ciao for now.